Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers' Jaylen Warren pulls back curtain on QB Kenny Pickett's leadership. Running back Jaylen Warren of the Pittsburgh Steelers appears thrilled to have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields as his team's new quarterbacks. But while complimenting the two new Steelers signal callers in a recent interview, Warren may have indirectly said more about former Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett. During Cameron Hayward's live show during Day 3 of the NFL Draft on April 27, Warren received a question about how it's been having Wilson and Fields at the team facility. In his answer, Warren suggested the two quarterbacks were far superior leaders compared to what the team had last year. "Oh, it's a night and day difference from last year," Warren said, via Baku X, formerly Twitter, account. The leadership speaks volumes. 3 different quarterbacks started for the Steelers in 2023. But presumably, Warren is comparing Wilson and Fields to Pickett. Pickett's leadership came under fire toward the end of his Steelers tenure. Pittsburgh sports personality Mark Madden reported that Pickett 100% refused to be the backup for the Steelers in Week 17 against the Seattle Seahawks. Then a day after the Steelers signed Wilson on March 10, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac reported Pickett canceled a workout with teammates. By the end of that week, Pittsburgh traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. Warren hasn't exactly gone viral with his indirect potential dig at Pickett. But media members covering the story interpreted Warren's comment as at least a slight shot at his former teammate. Steelers Now's Chris Ward called Warren's comment a truth bomb on Pickett. The Spunts Hunter Hodes referred to the running back's answer as a telling comment. Steelers fans on X responding to Baku's tweet of Warren's comment were more critical of Pickett. "It's becoming more and more obvious how bad of a teammate Pickett was," wrote Rick M. Warrensburg wrote that Warren speaks nothing but the truth. In his introductory press conference with the Eagles, Pickett tried a little to change the narrative around his Pittsburgh exit. But it appeared to have little impact on average Steelers fans. "I think the communication is what it is," Pickett said in response to how the team conveyed to him their off-season plan to sign Wilson. "It was behind closed doors. I'm confident with the way I handled it. I handled it the way I should have handled it." Perhaps the most ironic aspect of the indirect Wilson-Pickett swap is the fact that just a few months ago, Wilson had a much bigger diva reputation than Pickett. A team of reporters from The Athletic reported that Wilson had a private office during his first season with the Denver Broncos, which bothered some of the team's coaches. ESPN's Brady Henderson reported that in his final couple years with the Seattle Seahawks, Wilson placed a lot of emphasis on individual achievements such as the league's MVP award. But in the first couple months with the Steelers, there haven't been any rumblings of Wilson being a me-first player. Tight end Pat Freiermuth was highly complimentary of Wilson for organizing a workout with him and a few other pass catchers in San Diego. On April 14, Wilson posted a picture of him at the Pittsburgh Penguins game with backup offensive lineman and 2023 7th-round pick Spencer Anderson. Warren's comment only further supports the notion that Wilson is displaying great leadership this offseason. Wilson appears to be taking advantage of his fresh start in Pittsburgh. While Pickett may have made mistakes with the Steelers, he could eventually do the same if given the opportunity in Philadelphia. Steelers turn heads adding versatile two-sport athlete to QB competition. After rumblings that they could draft a quarterback in the NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers added a 4th quarterback in undrafted free agency. At the conclusion of the draft on April 27, the Steelers signed former UCF signal caller John Reese Plumlee. The UCF product announced the signing on his X, formerly Twitter, account. "Extremely fired up to be a part of Steeler Nation," wrote Plumlee. In addition to quarterback, Plumlee played wide receiver throughout college. He was also an outfielder for the UCF baseball team. Because of Plumlee's versatility and due to him being an addition to the quarterback room, Pittsburgh's decision to sign Plumlee was met with quite the reaction. Plumlee will slot in behind Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Kyle Allen as the Steelers' fourth quarterback in training camp, wrote Steelers Now's Alan Saunders. He could be in line to earn a practice squad role where his athleticism could allow him to be a versatile piece of the scout team. Plumlee began his college career as a three-star athlete in the 2019 recruiting class for Ole Mississippi. He lived up to his billing as an athlete throughout his 5-year college career. As a freshman in 2019, he attempted 150 passes. But he predominantly starred as a runner, posting 1,023 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns. Over the next 2 years, he didn't receive much opportunity behind center, so he played snaps at wide receiver. During the 2020 and 2021 seasons, Plumlee had 25 catches for 280 yards. He also averaged 4.9 yards per carry. Following the 2021 season, Plumlee transferred to UCF, where he returned to quarterback. In 2022, he threw for 2,586 yards and gained another 862 yards on the ground. He also passed for 14 touchdowns and ran for 11 scores. Plumlee recorded 2,271 passing yards, averaging 8.9 yards per attempt with 15 touchdowns in 2023. He rushed for 505 yards and 5 touchdowns as well. With the Steelers, he will likely compete for a practice squad spot as the team's fourth quarterback. He flashes a solely deep ball, and despite not having a mega arm, his accuracy and touch are on display, wrote Steelers Depot's Alex Kozora. He trusts his guys to make plays. In addition to his versatility on the football field, Plumlee played baseball at both Ole Miss and UCF. He appeared in 60 games over 2 seasons for Ole Miss, posting a .224 batting average with a .674 OPS. Plumlee couldn't play for UCF in 2022 because of transfer rules. But in 2023, he hit .286 with 10 home runs, 32 RBI, 18 stolen bases, and a .889 OPS in 58 games for UCF. Tough, athletic and a competitor, he's a multi-sport star who flashes on tape, wrote Steelers Depot's Alex Kozora. He doesn't show fear and wants to push the ball downfield. First call, Steelers reportedly reached out about a Courtland Sutton trade, Joey Porter Jr.'s cousin getting Steelers camp invite. At least one report says the Pittsburgh Steelers did make a trade inquiry about Denver receiver Courtland Sutton. Another supposed Steelers draft target says he was expecting to wind up in Pittsburgh when his phone rang in the second round. A cousin of Joey Porter Jr. is getting a camp tryout with the Steelers. A few NHL stars with local connections had big days in the playoffs. And the Pirates are looking to get back on the winning track in the Bay Area. All that in Monday's first call. It was widely believed that the Steelers might make an attempt to trade for Denver wide receiver Courtland Sutton. Apparently that happened, but the trade didn't. According to Jarrett Bailey of USA Today, both the Steelers and Los Angeles Rams reached out to the Broncos before and during the NFL draft inquiring about Courtland Sutton. Sutton wants a new contract. The 29-year-old has not attended voluntary off-season workouts. He has only $2 million in guaranteed money left on his current agreement. He counts $13 million and $13.5 million, respectively, against the salary cap the next 2 seasons. But Bailey now says that the Broncos don't want to move Sutton because they think he can be the top target for newly drafted quarterback Bo Nix. The Steelers cleared $7 million of cap space by restructuring Alex Highsmith's contract, presumably to acquire a veteran wide receiver to round out their thin pass-catching room. For some of the pre-draft process, the Steelers had been connected to Michigan defensive back Mike Sainristil. He seemed like a Mike Hilton type of player that could potentially play the slot. The Steelers reportedly met with Sainristil before his pro day. He was on the board at number 50, one pick before the Steelers selected West Virginia center Zach Frazier. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Courtland Sutton? Leave your opinion in the comments.